there are lots and lots of news articles, I'm sure all of you read about what's going wrong, how many sites get hacked and so on and so forth. I just wanted to look at one of them which just appeared and went away. The Andhra Pradesh police website got hacked. Now, isn't that strange? I wanted to tell you a story here. Been with KPMG for about 10 years, and thankfully or luckily, I have traveled to enough parts of the world to see a lot of different things. But one of my first visits was to a place called South Africa, and I went to a place called Johannesburg. Now, for those of you who know or have been there, it's an extremely beautiful country, warm people, and all of that. But unfortunately, Joburg or Johannesburg is probably the most crime-infested city in the world. So when we landed there, for instance, when we hired a car, we were told that if you're stopped on the road and someone tries to steal your car, just give the car. The car is not as valuable as you are. It's insured. So just give it. So when we were driving from the airport to the hotel we were staying, and we were staying at the Hilton at a very, very nice locality in Johannesburg. When you get off the highway to get into that particular area, you see a huge board which says carjacking hotspot, please be careful. And this is on the highway, a big board. And we started reading the newspaper. The first article on the newspaper was that the previous day before we landed, there were a bunch of policemen who were going in a patrol car who were stopped, they were stripped, their guns were taken, the patrol car was taken. So we went, so that isn't that a security issue? It is. We also found out in the same newspaper that there is a new methodology by which they transmit AIDS, and which is they put a little bit of the AIDS virus along with some fluid in an injection and put it in the back seat of a taxi so that the needle hooks up. And one of us got pricked. Imagine we had to stop the car and it took us half an hour to find out that actually it was just a spring and not a syringe. So it's a scary world we live in, right? So and this is something which I wanted to convey here is that whatever said and done, unknown risks will always remain unknown risks. The best you can do is to be prepared. Most servers get hacked not because of the information that they have on the server, but because the hackers want to use the server to launch other hacks. Right? Most organization servers are used as botnets, are used as servers from which you can launch other attacks, so that when someone tries to trace, your organization gets penalized and not them. And that's one of the primary reasons why something of that kind happens. So a server with limited information is still getting attacked. In another organization, about 20% of the hard disk space on the server was used to store pirated movies. This was done by an officer who was given system administrator rights, and he or she used it to view these movies during off hours. This person had been given administrative access just because he had to troubleshoot the computer and nothing else. If this was not detected in time, there could have been huge legal ramifications if someone tried. Another organization where classic case study, one of the first IT audits that I did for an organization based in Bangalore, manufacturing company, more than $1 billion in India revenue alone. We were doing the IT audit, and then one day we got a call from the CIO saying, don't come for the next 4-5 days. He said, why? And this was the time when Code Red and then Melissa and all of those things were going around. And they had a virus attack in their manufacturing plant. They were using SAP. And they had a disaster recovery plan, a beautifully documented business continuity disaster recovery plan 8 years back. It's a very, very well-known company. But they didn't have the courage to call it disaster. So what did they do? Every time they would find out that either a server or a PC got infected, they would remove the network cable. So they affect the 90% of their systems were off the network. So they said, what are you going to come and audit anyways? So don't come for the next 4-5 days till we tackle this. So there was an actual disaster, but they never called it a disaster for 5 days. So you have a beautifully documented disaster recovery plan, you didn't do anything about it.